Happy Tuesday. It's Tammy with the Frou-frou Studio, and we're here to do another I Saw It on Pinterest, and I believe that we are on episode 23. Hard to believe we're almost halfway through this year, but we are. So today, what I am going to attempt is this pen, and there is not a source, but it was penned by Rosalie, and she just commented beautiful textures. So I am not sure what is the origin of this, but we are going to attempt to make a version of it for an upcoming journal that I'm going to do. So I've got some pieces ready, and mine's going to vary, of course, as usual, just a little bit, because you know, like I said when we first started doing these, I am using what I have. And so I am trying to find items that are as close to what I can and still make the pen work, but with stuff that I have, not going out and buying anything. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to find there they are, my little scissors. So this is one of the journals that I'm going to be working on. I am going to try a weird size. So this particular journal is going to measure 5 by 5. It's going to be a little chunky square. And I thought that that would be fun and something different. And it's going to have a real shabby vintage look to it, and it's going to have a lot of lace and crochet pieces and fabric pieces and stuff like that, which I'm kind of challenging myself to do that because I don't sew, and I'm still not going to sew. And I think my purpose mainly is to kind of show that you can work with fabrics and laces, and you don't have to sew to do so. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking the edge of my scissors and I'm roughing this paper up a little bit so it looks a little more aged. And then when I ink it, it'll take the ink better. I'm also going to crinkle it up. And like I said, this paper is 5 inches by 5 inches, which is going to be the overall size of my journal. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of baker's paper, and I have it cut. It's actually cut, I think, 6 by 5. And I'm going to hinge these together, you know, something like this, so that I have a page that I can put in the journal. But what we're going to be working on today is just this flat piece. So I'm going to ink this up with Vintage Photo real quick, and then we will get started putting it together. And if I fumble around a little bit, I apologize. I'm back at work, and between catching up on my journaling and being at work on a keyboard all day, keyboard and mouse, my fingers and my wrist feel like they're going to fall off. And it's only Tuesday, so by the end of the week, it will not be good. But that's okay. We'll get by. Okay, so this is what I'm going to start off with as my base, like I said. And this is just a piece of the one of the 10 Holtz background pages that I cut down to 5 by 5. I'm not going to worry about what I'm doing to the back of it right now. All right, and then I made this little tag. The tag that is in the sample photo looks like it's made out of wallpaper, just a textured kind of off-white wallpaper, which I don't have any real wallpaper. So I made just this little tag out of Tim Holtz wallpaper pieces. And it's just to stick down in the pocket. And I thought that would work just as well for what we need. So that's where that came from. And you see it doesn't have a lot of color. I don't want a lot of color on this. In this journal, it's going to be basically a lot of neutrals because it is so small that I want the fabrics and the things like that I use to be the attention getter, not bright colors. All right, so this is just a piece of burlap trim, and I believe it's going to be the first piece we put on here. And the one in the inspiration picture is actually a darker color, but I went with a lighter color because I thought that it looked better with the paper. And I am going to, they put some white gesso on theirs, so I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to put some darker ink on mine, just a little bit. So I'm kind of doing the opposite of what they did. They had the darker, and I'll show you here. They had the darker burlap and it looks like they rubbed some gesso or acrylic paint. I have the lighter, so I'm rubbing with just a little bit of Vintage Photo. And that's going to be the first piece that we're going to glue down. And I just realized that I did not get a button, but that's okay. We can get that pretty quick. So I'm going to use Fabri-Tac on this, I believe. And I'm going to go around the bottom. Let me make sure I don't need to put anything underneath this, but I don't believe I do. No. Okay, so I'm going to do the bottom and the sides. And I'm going to place it. Oh, I'm about to mess up. See, I'm glad I looked. I got to glue this to the fabric, not the paper. This is a piece of fabric that is a piece of old apron is what this is. Like a kitchen apron. And I think I just did that upside down. Okay, it's going to be one of these days, guys. I put the bottom that was glued on the top, and that has to be my pocket. Okay, so we want it to go this way. Amy, I know you're cringing. I have Fabri-Tac on my fingers. Okay, let's get that off. And you notice I kind of did not put that in the center, and that is intentional. Okay, and let me blow up my picture here a minute. Okay, and they also have some cheesecloth. So let me grab a little bit of that. It's right here behind me, so I don't have to go far. So we'll get a little piece of this off. Should have known that wasn't gonna tear. How much of this do we want? Not a whole lot. We're gonna start with this. Sorry, I literally made up my mind like 2 minutes before I turned the camera on what I was gonna do, so I am not totally comfortable with my project here. All right, so now this is gonna go on here. And then we have several pieces of lace that we're going to use. And it's going to hang over so that when it will actually be hanging out like the bottom of the book. Some of these doilies you can't tell which way's right and which way's wrong. So we got that piece and that piece. And then we have this across here. And these two little pieces. And then I'm going to ink this one up just a little bit. It's a little too white and pristine, but it was the only piece I had that kind of had like an edge on it that would go. And this is antique linen, the number I beat on here, and you can see it just takes it down a notch so that it's not so white. Do both sides. And it's actually gonna go like that, I think. They have flowers, but they're a lot bigger. And then this is going to go under here. I may have to do that in 2 separate pieces. Let's try that. Because I don't need to build up all that bulk in the middle necessarily. Okay, and then my card will go down in the pocket. And they have just butterflies, but I'm going to use a stamp and a butterfly because I think it looks better with the paper that we're using, even though you can't see a lot of it. One there, and then I'm going to put one here. Where did my other butterfly go? There it is. Like this. And then these two little pieces. That one out of the way. If I can tear that with my poor hands. Okay, so one of them are gonna, or two, these two little pieces are gonna get pinned on there. And then this one is gonna get put up under this. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this glass bead off because this piece of lace right here is so old that these glass beads, they shatter if anything touches them. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that right off the bat. And I almost think that I would rather have, no, I guess that's all right. You can see how fragile this is. I mean, it is old, old, old. I feel like this piece is a little too wide. I'm gonna cut it down a little bit. Tear it down. Make it good and stringy. Okay, so this goes under. Under. And this goes over. We got all our pieces now. Let's see. Yep, and they have like a little dangly thing. And I've got this that I think I'm going to use to put down there. I believe. Something like that. Okay. So that's everything except for my button. So where is my far away, I promise. I'm looking for a button in the close vicinity, and of course I won't find one. Okay, I'll be right back. Could you hear me clanking? My buttons are in glass jars. Okay. I think that one's it. I'll just grab some real quick, but I like that one right there. All right, so let's start putting this puppy together now. Okay, so this piece. Okay, let's start with our pieces that go underneath on the back of the cardstock, which is this piece, which goes here. And I would have loved to have like a antique piece that, you know, has some really pretty little scallops or stuff, something on it, but I don't. I need to really start looking for some more lace. All my good stuff's gone. I have a lot of crocheted pieces, but not lacy kind of pieces. Okay, and then this piece needs to go up the side. Make sure I'm doing the right side. And I know that I'm not doing this and I may do it this way anyway. No, I'm going to do it backwards. I know I'm doing it backwards, but the example has lace that has flowers on it. And I don't have that, so that's why I'm doing it what I would consider backwards. Or the, you know, I'm going to have the flowery part sticking out instead of the scallop. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, not very well. And then I need a little piece of scrap paper, and I'm wondering, should I use a piece of this, since that's what I'm going to use on the other side. So they've got like a little piece of scrap paper right here in the corner. Kind of like that. I don't think it really serves a function other than to put another texture. So those are the pieces that go underneath. So the next piece we would put down would be this one, and it's going to go between the fabric piece and the paper. Get some of these strings off. And I'm going to cut down some of the bulk of this too. So that it sits just like this. Okay, now the next piece is our big fabric piece with the pocket, and it's going to go here. And I've actually altered with the paper showing over here, but that's okay. I'm okay with that too. That will work for me as well. And actually I may, what do I want to do here? Yeah, we'll do it on this side. That'll be good. All right, and I'm going to glue it on the bottom and up the sides, because if we wanted to, we could make a pocket behind that too. I'll decide that when I start putting the actual journal together. If I decide not to, I'll just go back and glue it. Okay, next piece is going to be this little clustery thing. So we're going to start with these two little pieces, get those in place. And then we have our ticking. Not about messed up, because this has to go under the ticking. But we can slide that in there. Guys, are y'all sitting and watching and saying, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster? This is what I feel like, that I'm making it very disastrous. Okay, and then we're going to do these two little guys. And I think I'll put the lighter one underneath and the darker one on top. these little blue strings out of my lace. Okay, and then we're going to glue our button on. Need to refill my bottle, my fabric tack bottle. I have a big bottle, but I prefer working with that little bottle, so I just keep refilling it. Okay, so there's all our fabric and everything in place. So now we have our little card here, and we want to take our two little pieces and pin those on with a safety pin. Everything's sticking to my fingers. Like that. And then we're going to put our little stamp. Oh, and I left the, oh, it's still working good. Started to say, I don't know if that's going to work because I left the top off of it, but it did. Let's ink up this little guy. Whoops. And I'll probably put, I don't have it over here, but I'll probably put my little postmark stamp on there. So he'll go right down in there. And then the other one will now go over here. And I'm going to put it kind of on top of the fabric. And I might just pop this guy up just a little bit, so he's not so flat. We'll glue this on. And then let me get a little, I think I've got some little pop-up things over here. Put a little bit of extra glue just for insurance. Snip this off. I don't like how square that is right there. That's better. I tore it up. Feel better about it. Okay, and then like I said, we can take another tag about this size and put down in here. And I think that'll look really cute. And it'll stick out the top. Maybe put a piece of this or something through there. Will that go through there? Am I dreaming? No, that'll work. And just ink it up or something. We might have to find something else. I don't know that that's going to hang on, but it might. Probably not. I could just finish tearing it off. And then I think we'll put this down here. May have to make it a little shorter or hang it a little higher. We could do that, hang it about right there. And I don't have my pliers or anything. And I know that opens somewhere. There it is. Oh. Yeah, I don't think I can get it with my fingers. But you get the idea. We'll hang it about right there maybe. Or something like that. Or we might find something else that works better once we get to the actual journal making. So there we go. Week 23. And actually I might put this in here too. You all might be glad this disaster is over with. But I think it's going to be okay. So there's my absolutely no-sew little journal page. And like I said, I'll take this and probably even put some stencil on it or something maybe. And I'll hinge it so that it can go into the journal as a page. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me and my fumbleness today. And I do appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so and hit the little bell so you'll know when a new video is coming out. If you're already subscribed, thank you, and thank you for the support. And thank you for the support in my shop. I appreciate it. And I guess that will be it. Let me show you once again the original. So this is what was the inspiration. And you can see they used, I still have threads glued to me. They used like a piece of upholstery, I think, back there with peaking shears. And I'm not really into upholstery fabric that much. So I didn't want to do that. But I do love my vintage aprons. And so I thought that was a good use for that. Now, the one thing that I could do and may do is maybe take some kind of stamp and stamp on that fabric. I'm just going to let it set for a little bit and, you know, make a decision whether I want to do that or not. I could also use a stencil, like a little swirly stencil or something like that on it. But for now, this is what we have. And, you know, it's not exact, but we don't want it exact. So, I think it came out really cute, and I'm looking forward to starting this journal. I've got a couple of custom orders that I'm working on, and as soon as I finish those, that will be our next project. So I hope you'll come back for that. I think it's going to be cute to do something that's not a standard size. And so I will be back on Thursday for Marguerite Miller. And until then, everybody stay safe and stay healthy, and we'll see you on Thursday. Bye.